Good afternoon, folks. Mike Wells, your world explorer. Today we are in Cantonment, Florida, and we're going to explore 11 Mile Creek, which is right along this road, which is East Kingsfield Road, I believe. So I don't know what's down this creek at all. I'm just visiting family right now, so we just so happen to be in the area, and this showed up on the map as close by. So what we're going to do is explore today and try to experience somewhat of an off the beaten path adventure. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. This bridge off of East Kingsfield is it looks a little older. So that's the first observation right off the bat. What am I looking for? The sediment here, well, it looks like they've been doing some construction or some fixing of this bridge. So let's go down here, because they still got a lot of equipment that is here. Oh, somebody left their shoes behind. Now, I really don't know what to expect, so let's go see. Yeah, this looks like a bunch of old concrete. Let's look at these rocks, see what we got here. Right there, look at that. This looks like a conglomerate of old concrete made from like little pebbles or river rocks or something of that nature. But here's the creek here. Let's look down the way. I don't really see anything that is intriguing right here. Let's look down. I mean, you might be able to spot something, but this looks like old debris. This is a great piece of wood if I could snag that, but I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not coming here for that today. I just want to look around and see what's going on here. So let's look down the way here. What do you see in this? I don't see anything that looks that interesting except for maybe further down. Let's check the other side. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out and flip it around. Yeah, it looks very debris filled. Does not look good. Let's look on the ground over here, see what we can see. Really weird kind of rocks here. I'm not sure what that is. Like I said, we're in right near Pensacola, Florida, in Cantonment. So I've never been up here. I've never seen any of the rocks that this area has to offer. Let's just go ahead and explore a little bit. This looks like some type of iron stone, to be honest. That's what it kind of resembles, but I'm really not sure if that's what that is. No, it might just be from the bridge. Just a bunch of garbage. What's this? Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what this is, folks. Could be... Yeah, that looks kind of man-made almost. This is some weird stuff, whatever it is. So, let's just look around down the way. I want to get out of this debris zone. It's like a debris field almost. Let's just kind of waft our way through this water, move a little bit slowly, and see what we can spot. Alright, so let me see this rock. I mean, but that looks like somewhat manufactured. Like it's like a piece of old building or something. Look at down the way. There's all these pipes. Like, what's up with all these pipes? Ah, Lord. Let's get away from this road so we can really start to see what's going on here. Now, look down here. You see all this debris. This stuff looks really not that appealing. But then I see something like this. I don't even know what this is. It broke. What do you think that could be? I mean, it looks interesting, but I have a feeling it's just like some type of slag or some garbage. Not even slag glass, just slag from concrete pours or something like that. Let's look around. I want to look down, but let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you folks can see what's going on down here. See these conglomerates? Maybe one day those will be of value to somebody, but to me, no. These conglomerates they look man-made, but this here is of interest. I really don't know what kind of rock that is. I bet you if you cut into it, it would have layers, almost like ironstone, like I said, but it's really not that intriguing to me. Let's look up. We see this huge pipe here. That's something that I don't really care for. Let's look over here. What's going on this way? It's a really odd territory. I know that during the storms that they had, where they had a lot of rain, it washed out a lot of material. So that's of interest to me. But what kind of material is this? Look at that. What is that? What is that up there is what I'm thinking. Let's zoom in and get a good shot of it. Huh. I don't know, but it looks intriguing, semi-natural. I don't know. We're just exploring. We're trying to figure out what we can find in this particular location. What's all this? Let's get up in here. It's like I said, this is what I've been seeing, is like this weird ironstone looking stuff. Huh? Zoom in on that. What do you think that is? Tell me in the comments. I don't know. What's that over there? You know? Look at that. What do you think that is? It like I said, it resembles ironstone in my opinion. But it's not hard enough. What's this? Let's look at this. All right, I'm gonna pull this over. Let's take a look at this. I don't know, it's got a lot of sand in it, so yeah. Your guess is my guess, but look at this pipe. It's an old beat up pipe in it. It's got iron oxide pouring all down, so that probably has something to do with that. I don't know. These are old concrete pylons that were holding up who knows what. Maybe that's a pipe. It's really hard to tell what's going on over here. It's a really weird situation. But I want to start clawing my way through all this stuff here. I'm going to jump this pipe. I'm going to go over there to that bank real quick. All right, I just jumped this pipe. Now I'm on the other side. This doesn't get that deep here, at least I don't think it does. If we look down, it's pretty shallow. I'm just going to have to be very cautious through here because I do not want to drop my camera. I can't afford to lose this. Look at that though. What is that? That is really, this feels a lot heavier and a lot harder than the stuff we've already been looking at. So what is this? What kind of stone is this, folks? It's really interesting. I bet you if you cut into that, you would find something interesting, some interesting colors. I don't know what it is, but hey, somebody else can come out here and figure it out. Look at that. What is that? Is that what kind of fungus is that? The chicken of the trees or something like that? I don't know. Looks interesting. So I'm gonna try and cross this real quick. Let's see what we got on that bank. You got to be careful out here. I heard there are snakes, water moccasins and whatnot, so not favorable for if you're trying to avoid snakes. I haven't seen a single snake so far though, so what kind of material is this? This looks like old road, old asphalt material. This is not something I care to explore through. So we'll keep heading up the way. We're gonna get out of this trash zone. I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled, but look at that. I don't know what all that is. It's just a mixture of conglomerates and all kinds of weird stuff. Like I said, it looks a lot like slag. That definitely looks like some type of a concrete concretion. Look at the brick. There's a brick right there. Yeah, so most of this is from old buildings that were likely here or something, a bridge, you name it. We've got to get out of this trashy zone though, and if we want to find anything worth talking about. So hopefully this creek doesn't rage, it doesn't get deep, because that'll cut our experience short. Now I've got water shoes on, just so you know, you want to see what I'm talking about. There you go. That helps me stay firmly attached to these rocks. But look at that, there's some water escaping out of that location. That's cool. It's very serene out here, minus the traffic that you hear from the road behind me. Why they have all these old concretions here, all these old boulders of concrete, is evading my mind. I have no idea why. It looks like they tried to stop the water from raging, so maybe that's what's happening here. Now there is a natural stone. Finally, I see a natural stone that looks like it belongs here. Let's take a look at it. That's an interesting stone. It likely has something going on with it. Let's move around to the other side of it. It's a big one. I really wonder what this means. I don't have any picks or anything like that, or any tools to be able to do much about this. So we're just gonna have to surface collect if we can find anything. Yeah, that's definitely a giant pipe right there. So this is all industrial ground. This creek might be a lackluster creek. Already I'm not really all that impressed with what I'm finding. I don't know what they had built out here, but look at these logs. It's always interesting to try to figure out what you are looking at. I'd have to do some research to really understand what was going on out here. But I don't see anybody else hanging out here. You saw them shoes that somebody left behind. But there may not be anything out here. It looks pretty garbagey. Looks pretty trash. Let's just try anyway. We'll give it a go. So you can see different spots where the water, when it rains heavily, the water comes from those locations. I'll bet you it'd be worth it to go down there, because in there's probably something worth exploring, but I don't know how deep it is or anything. I'm going to avoid that today. Let's go back this way. The creek looks pretty on this side. So here's another one of them gray rocks right here. See? Not sure what that is exactly, but it looks like it's got some type of either a fossil or chalcedony growing in it. Like I said, I don't have the tools right now to be messing with that. I just gotta find what's on the surface here. What's this? Okay, so yeah, this is a conglomerate stone of epic trash proportions. Maybe that's worth cutting up, I don't know, because it's like it's a historic concrete. It's probably from the 40s or the 30s. I don't know. It's got interesting pebble river rock in it, which indicates that it was made a long time ago. Because nowadays they use mostly limestone when they mix their concretes. That limestone aggregate. So let's look at this bank. See, there is so much trashy concrete conglomerate in there that it just doesn't look like it's going to be worth anything to be checking this out. Somebody's fishing down there. So I don't want to disrupt their experience, so we're going to go ahead and go this way. We'll go the other direction. Folks, on my way down to that other spot across the other side of the bridge, I found this. Definitely looks like an ironstone matrix item. There's no question. This too. Look at this. Now I cut a lot of Koroit boulder opal in the past, and it has these same colors. This clearly is not going to have opal in it, but that's what ironstone looks like. So very interesting. Let's keep on going. I haven't made my way to the other side of that bridge yet, but I found this. This looks natural. I'm gonna leave this chunk next to the ramp back up to my vehicle, and I'm gonna take this home and cut it and see what's inside of it. Let's keep going. All right, folks, I'm back at the bridge. We're gonna head this way past that barrier, and then I'll continue from there. I passed this bridge by a little bit, so look, your Coca-Cola bottle. The chances of this being older is slim to none. So let's rinse it off and see what we got. I don't know, folks. What can you see there? Upper Lake or Upper Lake, New York. Huh. It might be an old bottle. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm just gonna leave it behind. Somebody else can have it. I don't need it. Let's keep on going. We're almost to the spot we want to get to, and then we'll just continue around the bend from there. A little further. Let's look at this little bit of debris in here. I don't see a whole lot going on there. Little flecks of glass, bricks everywhere. I'm not seeing a whole bunch of natural stone. So this debris pile is mostly just trash. Stuff I'm not interested in now. These bricks. These might be historic bricks, I don't know. But I don't have an interest in them, so I'm leaving them. Somebody else might have an interest in them. If you do, well, now you know where to go to find them. This is some old piece of something. Who knows? Porcelain, maybe. To a plate. There's a very trashy bottom here. Now it's starting to look like sand and a little bit of aggregate. So And this over here is starting to look like possibly clay. You know, if I, oh yeah, it's clay, all right. Look at that, that is clay. So, this clay has the potential to have stuff in it, but I'm not trying to dig today, so we're gonna have to keep walking. I want to find a nice gravel that looks very natural, something I can really sift through, but wow, this bed here is causing me to slow down because you sink in it. All right, now we're moving along okay. Well, a lot of this stuff seems to have built up on top of lighter sediment. So let's look over here. We'll keep our eyes peeled. All right, so we're past the spot where we wanted to get by. Let's look over here. This clay is wet. It rains frequently during the summertime in this area, but if you look over here too, you'll see the sandy sediment zones. This can be interesting. So you just keep your eyes peeled when you're looking through stuff like this. I've heard about a lot of snakes over here. See, what I don't want to see is that concrete. That has me like really wary of this spot. Suspicious that I'm not going to find anything natural. All this concrete and this conglomerate mess with wood. But this is a creek. What can we find though? I've seen some ironstone, which is, it's low grade ironstone. The high grade, the gem quality, turns into tiger eye. So I don't think you'll ever find that around here, but let's look at this. What do we have here? What is this stuff? Doesn't look like it is anything. I see a seashell. That's probably a sign that we're more into the stuff that is natural. Look at that. Look at those clays over there. Really intriguing. Huh. Now I just want to, this creek is starting to look right. What can we find though? What can we find? Very sandy for sure. It's very subtropical out this way. Looks like years and years ago they used to have all kinds of stuff going on out here. Look at all that old evidence of old activity back there. See? So all that is out here, overgrown. I don't really know what all this is, but we're just going to keep looking around. What's this? A gravelly pit? This is a gravel bed over here with a bunch of junk in it that I may not want to get into. If you see something, you need to tell me, because I really don't know what I'm looking at except for a few things. So yeah, this stone looks interesting. That may be, I don't know, that's interesting to me. I might have to throw that in the pocket. Let's go ahead and do that. I hope it's not just a piece of a brick. That'd be disappointing. Could be old red clay that formed in the brick just right and breaks away and looks all fancy when you start smashing it to smaller pieces. What is that? What is that? That is crazy looking. Folks, wait a dang minute. What is that? Definitely different. That's got to be like a stalactite or stalagmite or something. With heavy iron. With a lot of iron in it. What is this? It's just a gray rock. These gravel beds, these always are telling. They tell you what is in your area, what you can expect more of. Obviously, we can expect more of that conglomerate trash that we don't want. Let's go look at some of this over here. Some of this clay. I mean, this is intriguing. This clay, who thinks to come digging in this clay? I'm not seeing anything in the way of fossils jutting out of this clay. So we'll just keep heading down this way, and I'll keep my eyes peeled. I need you to keep your eyes peeled too, because I don't know what the heck I'm looking for out here. What is this? This clay. It's a lot of clay. What is that? The fudge? Folks, what is this? Is this a wood? Piece of wood? Is this a piece of wood? Let's look. I don't know, but this was in the clay kind of strong. See if my thumb... So my nail goes into it. It's got to be wood. So that was a fake out. I thought it could have been a fossil. Let me just rinse my hand off. All right, keep looking. See, you never know what you're going to find. You have to first, when you're exploring a place you've never explored and there's no data, no information on what's there, or you just don't have it in your brain, you really just have to grab things, inspect them, and figure it out. Exploring is fun because it's an experience that you're experiencing. Who cares that a million other people have been out here before you? You haven't been out here, so if you haven't been out here, then for you, your first time experience is going to be amazing. It's just like the moon. If you haven't been out on the moon, which chances are you haven't, I mean, there's like a 99.99999999999 chance that you haven't been on the moon. But somebody else has. We know somebody else has been on the moon. But does that make it less interesting to you that they've been on the moon and you haven't? Just because they've explored it and done that means you're not supposed to explore it and enjoy it, and it's not going to feel new to you? No, the experience of exploration and adventure is based in first-time experiences for the individual, not based in the fact that it was already experienced by other individuals. So what I'm looking at here is a piece of, it's called, I think it's gemwood, basically Eliade pine core with resin, and it stays this way for a long time because of that resin. So I'm gonna throw that aside. Somebody else can have it. I got over 1,000 pounds of that, so I don't need any more. Look at this little gravelly bed over here. What is that? So, if this cuts through old garbage piles, right? Or garbage holes, if you will, then you will find old bottles. This is a suspicious bottle. It looks old. So if you're a mudlark, oh yeah, I just sank down right there. Ooh. I'm gonna pull myself together here in a second, but if you're into mudlarking like this, I don't see a single shred of evidence on this that tells me, hold on, let me wipe this bottom off. So we're seeing, we're seeing some interesting stuff on the bottom here. What is that saying? I really don't know what I'm looking at, so I can't tell you what this is. 68 on there on the right. There's an 8 on the left on the bottom. Up top is a couple other things. There's this where there was something here and there was something here. The top has a little bit removed from it, but all in all, I do not know what type of product was in here and what year it was from. So what I am gonna do is I'm gonna leave that behind for somebody else. If it's worth $100, come get it. I don't need it, I don't want it. I just have fun exploring. All right. What else are we able to find and locate out here? What are we looking at exactly? Some of this gravel here is not showing me much. What's that? It's just wood chunks. Let's head up and see what we can find. I see things that are uninteresting, like this. Now, let's move over this way, see what kind of stuff might come out of the... Let's look down. You gotta look down if you're trying to find some stuff. Looky, folks, it's a clay mass. Sorry, got you excited. Let's look around. Oh, a brick. Yep, bunch of glass. Bunch of glass chunks, old bottles or whatever. Now this, what is that? Yep, definitely part of the edge of some type of porcelain product. Likely a toilet. Let's open the eyes and catch a view of something. I'm not seeing anything other than old asphalt and old concrete conglomerate chunks and some of that ironstone, that low grade ironstone. But this creek view is really pretty. I'm gonna move up there a little bit and try to hit a new rock bed. All right, I'm up a little further, but I just saw this coming up, so I decided to put my camera on. Let's see what's going on over here. There's water moving out from up there. Okay. There's clay here. Sometimes in different parts of the state, this clay is a great sign of something, but it looks like it's been trampled on by tons of raccoons. Very interesting. This is an in and out zone for the raccoons. It's very stinky over here, so that means there's a bunch of organic material that has been producing sulfur through its decomposition, and that's where that sulfur smell comes from. And that's how the clay gets created, is layers upon layers of organic mass and material decomping and compacting over time. It changes, it turns into that clay. So let's keep on heading down. I'm not gonna go much further. Yeah, so road handy, or road handle tire. Beautiful creek. Let's look on these sides. I don't see anything that is suggesting to me that there is a fossil present, a lot of shells present, or any amazing minerals present. So it just might be slim pickings on this creek, if there's anything out here at all worth talking about. All right, let's look down here. This part of the creek is flowing, but let's see. Here's a conglomerate of asphalt. Look at that piece of wood. That is a very prized piece of wood. It's been sitting back here for years, likely floated up there when the water was higher. But that piece of wood, when you cut into it, is going to be amazing. And it's a hardwood. So I see a lot of sand. So we found a lot of sand, a lot of clay, and a lot of garbage. Okay? Look at that. That's a sign of garbage. Lots of sand. So the natural behavior of this creek and this water, the erosion, is going to reveal stuff over time. But you're not going to be able to know where to collect unless you go out and explore for yourself. Most folks, I'll bet you there's something worth talking about if we went up in this little runoff creek here. It just looks so good. Very cool water coming out of there. What's going on right here? Nope, there's clay. What's this? That is a piece of wood that is decomposing and rotting. So this clay really isn't that old. There's another piece of wood right there. Yeah, this clay is not that old. See? Decomp right there. Oh, this is, I mean, it's old, don't get me wrong. It took a long time for it to form. But in the grand scheme of time, it is not that old. What is this? This is a little river pebble stone. Huh. Very interesting. You can see some sediment layers up this way. Look at that. That's interesting. Maybe that's from machines that moved a bunch of sediment around, because it's sand over here and it's clay over here. Who knows? But we're just trying to discover and find something. Look at these gravels. This is the most gravelly bar I've seen so far. Definitely ironstone in there. Definitely. What is this? This is just a siliceous, probably A quartz. Probably a quartz. I don't know. It's tough to say. What is going on here? I don't know what that is. Somebody's smoker pen, or they huff on it. What are we looking for here? What is this? That is a shell. There are some shells back here, little ones. Not a lot though. Ooh, what's this gonna tell us? Look at the interesting stuff inside of this clay. Sometimes you'll find stuff jutting out of the clay that is worth pulling. So we'll just keep our eyes peeled, because we really don't know what we're gonna find, or what's even out here to find. Black is a good indication of something that has been fossilized. Look at that. Look at that. The sediment layer sits right on top of the clay layer. So the new organic material is right up there. The old stuff is down here. Interesting. We are hopeful to find something. Let's keep looking. What can we locate? What can we locate? I don't see anything. I don't see anything. So we're going downstream, which is probably more desirable in my opinion, because that means the water has cut deeper than the locations that are upstream. So there's a chance we can find something in a deeper layer, because the deeper you go, the more opportunities there will be. Now we don't want to hang out here too much, because it's going to start getting dark soon. But this is a beautiful creek. The further down you go, oh, look at this. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We'll go through this last gravel here and then hit that bend and call it quits for today. So let's look over here into the clay. The clay has some old organic materials embedded into it, but they're very rotted. What is that? Let me touch it. Yeah, that has not fossilized, so if it were to fossilize, it would be hard. Let's look down here in the gravel. Gravel will always reveal to you something, if there's something around, especially if it's abundant. If that thing that you're looking to find that exists in that area, that locale, that location is abundant, the gravels will show you this truth. Like that stuff. This ironstone stuff. Well, let's go down here and look around. See, these gravels don't look like they're from here. They look like they're from those gravel conglomerates. But maybe in the times of the old, that gravel was abundant here and they were taking it out of the ground to make those concrete conglomerates. I don't know. But history is very plain. Basically, they had anytime new settlements were created in the old days, they had to utilize the resources that were at their fingertips, the resources that were within their grasp, because it's very costly to ship in resources from other locations. Money will always flow toward a path of least resistance, just like water. So that's that. Just saw another piece of that gemwood. That stuff's fascinating, that gemwood. If you see those, just grab one. Just take it home, cut it open, and see what I'm talking about. There are different folks in different countries that will take that and make fascinatingly amazing jewelry out of it. It's like a resin core gemwood. They call it gemwood. What's this? What's this? It's just more junk clay. Yeah, that's that. And once we hit this bend, I'm gonna call it quits, folks. So let's keep going just a little bit more. Maybe we'll get lucky and find something truly fascinating. There's a big old chunk of yuck wood. I'm starting to feel the mosquitoes. That's not something I want to feel right now, or ever, for that matter. Come on, come on. What can we find? Yeah, clay balls and garbage and wood, concrete conglomerates, and that's it. That's mostly what we're going to find out here. And some of that ironstone. What is that? It's just a root or a tree branch. Well, folks, we gave it our best effort. What's this? See, if this was something, it's definitely not strong enough to be able to throw in your pocket. I still see brick fragments. Huh. What's that? Yeah, see, that's about the extent to which we're gonna find anything over here. And this creek continues on. Folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That helps the channel grow. And stay tuned, because I've got a lot more fascinating experiences and exploration adventures in the pipeline. Have a great day.